Welcome back to the Ripewave audio community, where we explore together all types of home audio systems from hi-fi to home theater. My name is John, and for this video we will discuss upgrading to Immersive Surround Sound for our main theater. This video complements the recent Ripewave audio videos that are designed to help this community understand the details around immersive home theater experience, including our AV Processor's Buyer's Guide, immersive formats, who's winning, and our 2 videos on in-ceiling speakers. If you miss those videos, I have provided the links within the description for your convenience. Ripewave Audio has been living with a 5.0 surround sound system for 2 decades, and we are ready to finally jump into immersive audio for our main theater. While our goal is to move to 7.2.4 immersive system, I do want to point out that we have been comfortably living with the basic 5.0 setup with no discrete rear channels, no front wides, no height or ceiling channels, and no subwoofers. It has been my constant study of new audio technologies and the home theater market that has informed me that a richer, more enveloping experience is possible. This modest 5.0 system has served us well and continues to produce thrilling moments with respectable bass, despite being limited to the original digital Dolby and DTS 5-channel single-pane formats with no subwoofer present. After sitting on the sidelines through numerous enhanced surround experiences, in 2000 it was 6.1 Dolby Digital EX and DTS-ES. In 2003, Dolby ProLogic 2X. In 2006, there was the 7.1 channel Dolby Digital Plus, Dolby True HD, DTS HD Master Audio. Also in 2006, we had the 9.1 and 10.1 Auro-3D introduction. The 2009 brought us 9.1 Dolby ProLogic 2Z and 11.1 Odyssey DSX. In 2010, there was 11.1 and 13.1 Auro-3D. In 2014, we finally got Dolby Atmos. 2015, it was 11.1 DTS-ES. In 2018, it was IMAX Enhanced. And then finally, in 2019, DTS-X Pro came out. That's a lot of formats, resulting in a lot of changes. If we were to hit all of them as they were introduced, we may have been updating our AV processor every 2 years. Through it all, backward compatibility for 5-channel systems has remained, making it possible to keep our AV processor active for decades of functional service. At this point, Ripewave Audio believes that the market has settled on Dolby Atmos and DTS-X as the new standards. With the arrival of DTS-X Pro, both options can expand and accommodate the most practical home theater expansions without the need for updated source material. While Auro-3D remains an option, it is likely to remain niche with limited content. The bottom line is we can purchase an AV processor today and feel comfortable that it will remain viable for many years. HDMI formats have also evolved through many iterations, and the latest version, HDMI 2.1, should provide enough future runway if video switching is something you want the processor to handle. Otherwise, that job can be fulfilled by the TV with an eARC connection to pass back the audio signal to the processor. Given what is required, moving to an immersive surround sound theater may take several phases, especially if you have a limited budget for your theater spend. At the very least, you will need to purchase an AV receiver and height ceiling speakers or upfiring Atmos modules. If you are to use separates, additional channels of amplification will also be needed. While Ripewave Audio favors separates, we may consider an AVR if it is possible to use its internal amplifiers for the upper immersive layers and possibly save some costs. Ripewave Audio is already 2 phases into a plan to support immersive audio. Now let's walk through each from the system's first incarnation in 2006. We began purchasing components for this system in 2000. However, it did not all come together as a full 5-channel system until 2006. The system is based on the Sony TAE 9000ES AV processor, the Sony TAN 9000ES 5-channel amplifier, and the Polk Audio LSI series speakers. That is the LSI 15s for the front, left, and right, the LSI-C for the center channel, and LSI-FX for side surrounds. When this system was established in 2006, we considered a subwoofer and may have purchased if Polk had a better option and if we had more money available. A subwoofer has always been on our list, but because of the strong bass performance of the LSI 15s, it has been difficult to justify the spend against other priorities. The moves Ripewave Audio has taken to prepare for the immersive audio is out of the normal logical order. Most enthusiasts would opt to upgrade their processor first, and in fact we would prefer to as well. However, Ripewave Audio has been waiting for immersive AV processors to mature in their capabilities and format support. When Emotiva announced in 2016 that the XPA-1 Gen 2 monoblocks would be discontinued and available at closeout prices, we decided to purchase additional channels of amplification first. This approach would also address the fact that the Polk LSI 15s are power-hungry 4-ohm speakers. The new monoblocks provided ample power for the front stage, which even the center channel benefited from the added clarity these offer over the Sony TAN 9000ES. We waited a few years before implementing Phase 2. Again, we were incentivized by a closeout deal. This time the deal came from Polk Audio, as the LSI M series was being discontinued. While rear surrounds are not required for immersive audio, a 7-channel ear-level bass is better for a theater of our large depth. As we had spare outputs on the Sony TAN 9000ES, there was nothing additional required to power these, albeit we have not been able to enjoy true 7-channel surround material with the existing processor. Until the processor can be upgraded, we are cheating by splitting the rear channels between side and rear speakers. The next phase is where we will finally update the AV processor. At this point, we have looked over the feature sets of 146 AV processors, which includes those with amplification, otherwise known as AV receivers. Given the target quality, feature sets, and price points, Ripewave Audio is likely to select one of the top models from Anthem, Emotiva, or Marantz. This time, we will not wait for or even desire a closeout deal. In fact, we will aim for just the opposite, a model that has been recently released to maximize its longevity. With this move, we will finally be able to claim a 7.0 system, but without ceiling speakers, we will only be immersive ready. It is the fourth phase where we will finally be immersive. Now the good news is part of Phase 4 was addressed a few weeks ago with the purchase of 4 Polk Audio 900LS ceiling speakers, and yes, again on closeout. What could separate Phase 3 and 4 a bit is the purchase of the amplifiers, which will be needed for matching the 4 channels for this expansion. Now we could take the path of selecting a pretty modest amplifier, as these should require the least amount of power of all the speakers. However, we like the idea of pushing the Sony TAN 9000ES further downstream and replacing the side and rear surround amplifications with more capable units. And of course, another route is buying an AVR that has assignable channels and using those onboard channels to power the in-ceiling speakers. Well, many great options are available for external amplification. We see no reason not to stay with Emotiva. If we go with the full differential Emotiva RMC1 or RMC1L processor, we will be compelled to select their XPA DR2 amplifier, which is also fully differential. The last phase we will label as phase X, as it doesn't matter when it is implemented. This is the subwoofer phase. Now, subs are not required for immersive directional cues, but it should elevate the experience, and I will likely learn what I have been missing out on since 2006. When we finally pull the trigger on the subwoofer, it will be for 2 to better balance the LFE throughout the room. Part of the reason why we have held off on a subwoofer is to make an educated decision. Now, certainly though, we could be influenced by a closeout deal. With these last few phases, we will be able to claim to have a 7.2.4 immersive theater. Depending on the processor selected, we will know how far we will be able to expand into the future without upgrading the processor once again. To ask for this processor to survive 2 decades like our Sony TAE 9000ES would be asking too much, as that processor was kept in service far too long than it should have been. At least it was one of the best sounding models of its day. We can envision expanding to a maximum configuration of 9.4.8 for this room size. However, that would require 21 channels of processing, which is past the current sweet spot. So it's unlikely we will be able to purchase a processor today to accommodate that configuration. Now, there are many models available today that support the target 7.2.4 configuration, so at least that goal is achievable for our budget. Now, that is our plan, but there are numerous ways you can go about this type of upgrade to immersive audio experience. If you are also looking to move from the standard surround with a 5 or 7 channel speaker base to an immersive system with an upper layer, we would appreciate hearing your feedback. How will you phase in the necessary components? All at once or over time? Will you leverage an AVR for some of the amplification or go all separates? That feedback would be useful for the Ripewave audio community. Furthermore, if you enjoyed this video and are interested in enhancing your audio experience, please like and subscribe to this Ripewave audio community, and be sure to select the bell icon so you'll be notified as soon as the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.